Yo, what is going on, y'all? V-Rob here. Today, what we got going on, as you guys see by the title, I will be breaking down, in my opinion, the top 5 best finals performances by a single player of the last 10 years. So this is from 2009 up until this point, y'all. This took me a lot of time to do research on. This took me a lot of time to edit. So you will see nothing but factual evidence here, y'all, with a lot of evidence, statistics, a lot of storylines to back it up. So without further ado, y'all, we'll start with number 5. You know what? We'll start with an honorable mention just to show some respect to Kevin Durant.
Get at the full rebound, Durant.
Incredible opportunity.
Durant for...
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! You know what day it is! You know what it is! Taco Tuesday!
And I've been waiting, baby.
Man like Lou Will, 2 girls and they get along like on Lou Will.
And so going on to number 5, we have Kobe Bryant from the 2009 NBA Finals. Going into the 2008-2009 NBA season, the LA Lakers lost the NBA Finals the year before to the Boston Celtics in 6 games. That year, in 2009, the Lakers finished 65-17 going into the playoffs. They had a pretty interesting bracket, but they did get past the Utah Jazz, the Houston Rockets, and then the Denver Nuggets, led by Carmelo Anthony, Chauncey Billups, J.R. Smith, and a very stacked team, and found themselves back in the NBA Finals for the second straight year against the number 3 seed, the Orlando Magic. In Game 1, of course, this was against the Orlando Magic, led by Dwight Howard, who was the Defensive Player of the Year that year, averaged 21 points per game along with 14 rebounds and 3 blocks. He was also 4th on the MVP list that year. Kobe was 2nd, and obviously LeBron won that season. So in Game 1, Kobe dropped 40 points along with 8 rebounds and 8 assists and a plus-minus of plus 25 to give the Lakers a 1-0 lead. In the closeout game of Game 5, Kobe played 43 minutes, and in those 43 minutes, he had 30 points along with 6 rebounds and 5 assists. For that 5-game series as a whole, he averaged 32 points per game, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists, shot 43% from the field, 36% from 3, and 84% from the free throw line, earning Kobe Bryant his 4th ring in his career. And now going on to number 4, y'all, one of my personal favorites from 2013, LeBron James. LeBron James in the 2012 NBA season led the Miami Heat to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder in just 5 games. That next year, in 2012 to 2013, he won his 2nd straight MVP and led the Miami Heat to a league best 66-16 record in the regular season. In the playoffs, they found themselves beating Milwaukee in the first round. Then the MVP Derrick Rose-led Chicago Bulls in the second round, and then beat Indiana in a tight 7-game series, leading them to the NBA Finals against the San Antonio Spurs. That year, the Spurs were the number 2 seed in the Western Conference and won 58 games. Of course, we have all heard of the famous Game 6 in this series, being down 3-2. I'll just show you guys the highlight. You guys know what happened.
Oh, rebound Bosh. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang! Tie game with 5 seconds remaining. Spurs do not have a timeout.
That game as a whole, LeBron dropped 32 points and a triple-double, which the game did go into overtime, and the Heat won that game 103-100. That's following game in Game 7, LeBron played 45 minutes, dropped 37 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 assists with a game-winning mid-range shot I'll show you guys right here to put it away.
2-point lead. James pulls up, puts it in. 4-point lead. 35 for LeBron James.
In that series as a whole, LeBron James averaged 25 points per game along with 11 assists and 7 rebounds, shot 45% from the field, 35% from 3, and 80% from the free throw line, winning back-to-back titles for the Miami Heat and gaining LeBron James his 2nd ring of his career. And now, I did not say this at the beginning of the video, but this is based on someone's single performance. You do not have to win the series to be in this list, y'all. So at number 3, I have from 2015, LeBron James again. Number 3 on our list, we have LeBron James from the 2015 NBA Finals. This was obviously his first year back with the Cleveland Cavaliers after coming home. That season, the Cavaliers finished as the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference with a record of 53-23. In the first round, they found themselves sweeping the Boston Celtics, but they lost Kevin Love with a shoulder injury. He would be out for the rest of the playoffs. After that, they defeated the Chicago Bulls in 6 games, and then they found themselves against the Atlanta Hawks, who they beat in 4 games. Game 1 of the NBA Finals that year against the Golden State Warriors, who won 67 games that year, and Steph Curry did win MVP. Kyrie Irving got injured in overtime, found himself out with a knee injury for the rest of the series, and then the Cavaliers did lose that close first game. Going into game 2, LeBron James knew he had to win it. That game did go into overtime as the first NBA Finals in which the first 2 games went into overtime. LeBron played 50 minutes that game, dropped 39 points along with 16 rebounds and 11 assists, and led the Cavaliers to a Game 2 victory, winning 95-93. And a fun fact, Timofey Mozgov was leading scorer with 17 points. Game 3 back in Cleveland, Ohio. Another close game. LeBron finished with 40 points, 12 rebounds, and 11 assists in 46 minutes played, and won the Cavaliers Game 3 96-91. They would go on to lose games 4, 5, and 6, losing the series in 6 games. But in that series, LeBron James finished with 36 points per game, 13 rebounds, and 9 assists, shooting 40% from the field, 31% from 3, and 69% from the free throw line. This obviously wasn't his best shooting percentage finals ever, but due to the fact of players around him, Timofey Mozgov was the second leading scorer for this team. Judging the players that he had around him, judging the fact that he did win 2 straight games against a 67-win Warriors team, I put him at number 3 on this spot, and could have easily won MVP instead of Iguodala, who averaged 15 points per game.
And now for number 2 on the list, y'all. This one kind of hurts me, not gonna lie. This is a little emotional to create notes for this, but we have Dirk Nowitzki from the 2011 NBA Finals.
In 2011, Dirk Nowitzki and the Dallas Mavericks finished with a record of 57-25, which got them 3rd in the Western Conference. In that playoffs, they found themselves beating the Portland Trail Blazers, then went on to sweep Kobe Bryant and the LA Lakers, who just previously won the NBA Finals that previous season, and then beat the Oklahoma City Thunder, led by Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, and James Harden in 5 games to advance to the NBA Finals. In the NBA Finals, they would find themselves against LeBron James and the newly formed super team in Miami. In Game 5, tied up 2-2, Dirk Nowitzki dropped 29 points along with 6 rebounds and 3 assists in 40 minutes to give the Mavericks a 3-2 lead. Then, in Game 6 in Miami, Dirk Nowitzki drops 21 points and 11 rebounds in 39 minutes to win this game for the Dallas Mavericks and give them the NBA championship of 2011. That series, Dirk Nowitzki dropped 26 points along with 10 rebounds and 2 assists. He shot 42% from the field, 37% from 3, and 98% from the free throw line. Yes, Dirk Nowitzki was the best player for that team and was the best player in that series, but also the helps of Chandler Parsons, Jason Terry, a lot of other great players contributed in this series, y'all. But just looking at that playoffs, Dirk Nowitzki averaged 27, 8 and 3, 49% from the field, 49% from 3, and 94% from the free throw line. This is one of the best playoff runs that we have ever saw in NBA history. Judging the team he had, he swept Kobe and the Lakers, beat the young Thunder team that is probably the most talented young core in the league at the time, and then beat the newly formed super team, LeBron, D-Wade, Chris Bosh, that was the prohibited favorites at the start of the season, y'all. So once again, this is probably one of the best NBA rings in NBA history just due to the fact of the story behind it. Now on to number 1.
And finally, number 1 on the list for the best finals performance of the last decade. We have, without further ado, you guys know what it is. From the 2016 historic NBA Finals, we have from the Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron James.
Number 1 on our list, like I said, we have LeBron James in 2016. Of course, going off from last season, they lost in 6 games to this exact same Golden State Warriors team, but it was without Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. That season in 2016, the Cavaliers finished as the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference with a record of 57-23. They found themselves beating the Pistons in 4 games in the first round, the Hawks in 4 games in the second round, and then beating the Toronto Raptors in 6 games to advance to the NBA Finals. In the finals, they found themselves against a 73-9 Golden State Warriors team, passing the Chicago Bulls as the greatest record in the regular season in NBA history, and against Steph Curry, the first ever unanimous MVP in league history. The Golden State Warriors won games 1 and 2 with a point differential of plus 38, the largest point differential in NBA Finals history. Going back to Cleveland, the Cavaliers did win Game 3 by 30 points with LeBron James leading the way with 32 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists. Losing Game 4, the Cavs found themselves down 3-1. Before this, no team in NBA history found themselves down 3-1, and was able to come back and win that series. ESPN gave the Cavaliers less than a 3% chance to come back and win. In Game 5, LeBron, along with Kyrie Irving, dropped 41 points each to win Game 5 in Oracle. Going back to Cleveland in Game 6, LeBron dropped 41 again, along with 11 assists and 8 rebounds. And probably Cleveland's biggest sporting event in the last 50 years. They won that game pretty single-handedly, won by 14. And I'll show you guys the clip in the locker room. LeBron spoke nothing but facts here on the Golden State Warriors.
When we attack, like I said, when we attack that, they cannot guard us. All right, we play with pace, they cannot guard us. Okay?
Mentally and physically, I'm telling you,
And now going into Game 7, you guys have to remember LeBron's legacy was on the line at this point, y'all. If he lost these NBA Finals, he was looking at a record of 2-5 in the NBA Finals, y'all. This was an opportunity for him to really prove everyone that he was not out of his prime anymore. He wasn't slowing down. He was going up against Steph Curry, who a lot of people thought was the best player in the world. People were comparing him to Michael Jordan. People were saying that LeBron is already washed up. He can't win another championship anymore due to the fact he went back to Cleveland. He made the wrong decision. He should have traded Kyrie. He shouldn't have traded for Kevin Love. He shouldn't have made those moves. He should stop running the team. He should have stopped firing the coach the year before. All these criticism, his legacy was on the line this game, y'all. He comes out, drops 27 points along with 11 rebounds and 11 assists. And I'll just show you guys this. The rest is history.
Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection. Wow. 60 seconds to go. We're tied at 89.
In that series, LeBron finished with 30 points per game along with 11 assists and 9 rebounds per game. Led every single statistical category: points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks for both teams. The first player to ever do that in the NBA Finals. Shot 49% from the field, 37% from 3, and 72% from the free throw line. This is why he is number 1 on my list, just due to the fact of how important this series was for him. Everything was stacked against him. The storylines. I think we will never see a better ring or a better accomplishment in NBA history. To me, this is worth 2 rings. LeBron is a 4-time champion, ladies and gentlemen.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, that is my list for the top 5 best finals performances of the last decade, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys agree with me, disagree with me, make sure to put it down in the comment section below. I will be reading the comments of this video. I'd love to hear your guys' opinion on this. We have the NBA Finals starting soon, y'all. Stay blessed. All love 2019. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Keep spreading all love. Figure out this thing, y'all. Peace.